Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Vibrant Life podcast, the official podcast of the Vibrant Life community. I'm Sarah Nolan, and I am an energetic management advisor and a burnout prevention coach for high performers. I work with people like entrepreneurs, musicians, speakers, writers, people who are super creative and really changing the world, making the world a better place through their gifts. And so I help people to move, elevate themselves and rise up into the roles that really are changing the world. And it's super exciting. I love doing this work, and I love helping people to really become the best versions of themselves that they can possibly be. And today I am working out of my mom's sewing room. I'm hanging out with family this week, and you can see here, this is a cabinet that I painted when I was, I don't know how, I was probably like 15 or 16 or something. It's really funny. This week, we are talking about leveling up. This is something that I've been seeing with my clients across the board. On this past weekend, from Thursday to Sunday, I was helping some of my graduates with an advanced program where they were really leveling. It was a super level up weekend. And they were really stepping into the roles of the people that they're supposed to be growing into. This is a process that most people bypass, and they stay stuck. They, they give up on things, or they just kind of keep circling back around to the same situations in the cycle of being stuck. And so, and I've been noticing with really all of my clients that this is a season for leveling up. Okay? So if you're here with me live or on the replay, just let me know. Say hello in the comments and check in. Let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. So tonight, as our process of leveling up, we're going to talk about dealing with haters. And somebody in the ClickFunnels group, for a second I was like, am I allowed to say the brand name on the podcast? I have no idea. But if you're in this group, anyway, somebody asked about how to deal with haters, and like, as you level up, you're going to gain more haters, and it's really just people dealing with their own stuff. I mean, we're all just reflections of each other, and as we see somebody who's like intimidating, or it's like, wow, they're really big, and being big scares me, and then, then all the hate comes in. So this was my response to their question of how to deal with haters, and it really all is not about them. Hey, Kimberly, it's not about them at all. It's about ourselves. And whenever we want to deal with an outside situation, we always start with ourselves. So the first step is becoming present with yourself, becoming present with these feelings. And so often, people bypass this step, and they're like, oh, just move on, just ignore them, just block them. But when we do that, that's an okay way to approach it. But when you do that, you are missing an opportunity, because when you find yourself being triggered by another person that way, by like a hater, by somebody who criticizes you in some way, the ego loves to come in and get all the stuff riled up inside of us. And so our first response is to either lash out, this is what we want to do, lash out, or ignore it, or block it, or move on, or like think positive, right? But none of that really helps the situation, because the situation is really the response. and the trigger, and that's why it feels so uncomfortable, is because we're triggered. So getting present with that and really seeing, like, where is this coming from? What exactly is the trigger? What is that feeling that feels so bad? Is it the feeling that, like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm not worthy. Maybe I'm really not enough. Maybe I'm really not good enough to be doing this. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this at all. And it gets us kind of questioning ourselves. And actually, the haters are really, really special part of the process, because it really shows us how we're doing in this area. And if you find yourself getting triggered, then it's like, awesome, here is an amazing growth point. Here's a way to really do some inner work with this and release whatever that root cause is. And let me tell you something, whatever is going on behind that trigger, behind that feeling of shame, of doubt, of fear, of anger, whatever's going on behind that is a few steps deeper than anything you can possibly imagine right now. Anytime we're triggered, there's something subconscious behind it. And it's nothing that you have any awareness of right now. Like, normally people are like, oh, I know where that's coming from. That's coming from, like, maybe I was bullied when I was younger, or, maybe I have an issue with my self-image or something like that. But when you really get to the root of it, it is something that is so big that it is really controlling the rest of your life. It's not just like, this is one instance, being triggered by somebody's criticism or by somebody's just bullshit. That's just the tip of the iceberg. That's just what you're seeing. And whatever's triggering that, it's also influencing other things that are going on in your life. It's influencing the way that you respond to people, like your marriage, to your kids. And it's more obvious when it comes from somebody like a hater, because it's easy to be like, they're just a hater, and have all this reaction to them. But when it's somebody who you love, and it's more subtle, because it's stuff that comes up every day. It's stuff like, did you put your shoes in the right place? Did you put the seat down in the bathroom? Did you put the dishes away? Things like that. And however you're being triggered by haters, I can almost guarantee that you're being triggered with other things too, but maybe you're so used to it that you don't think about it anymore. Or maybe, like I said, it's so subtle that, it just kind of slides by and it's easy to ignore. So when it's so obvious and it's so, like, when it's somebody that we don't know, and it makes it a lot easier to pay attention to that. When you deal with that, when you really get to the bottom of it, find out what is actually the root of this feeling that I have, this yucky, icky, scary feeling that I have. You get to the root of that and then you release it. It's going to change your relationships. It's going to change your business. It's going to change how you take care of yourself and your relationship with yourself. So this is an amazing opportunity for growth when you find yourself getting triggered by strangers, because there's no resistance to feeling bad about strangers. So, hey, Emily, Kimberly, and Tess, let me know if you have any questions about that. If you have any comments, I'm happy to answer you and help you out even further. This is the kind of stuff that we do in Recharge and that I help my clients with, is getting to the root of these challenges and becoming aware of what's going on with the triggers. And so what I'm talking about right here with haters, this is just part of the process. And this is something that, when you do Recharge, you will explore and really master in your life. And how cool is that, to be able to master something like that, where you used to be triggered. I was working with one of my clients, and there was something major that kept triggering this person. And after one session, there was no more trigger. So that, it's really powerful. And you can do this all the time for yourself whenever you feel like it's needed. You'll have the tools and the processes. So if you're interested in mastering this area of your life, if you are like tired of being dominated by these triggers and by like the emotional reactions that come up, and you just, want to have a way to deal with that stuff, let me know, because I can show you some next steps to getting to that point. But thank you so much for watching and for joining me this evening. Hey, Brian. And I will talk to you guys later. This whole week, we're going to be talking about leveling up. And so if you feel like you're on the edge of leveling up, or you're ready to level up, then stay tuned in this week, because that's what's happening. And just by watching these videos, you're going to start leveling up yourself. And on Friday evening, I'm going to be taking one person, Tim Rubel, through a level up process. So you're going to be able to see that and level up yourself through that process. And I'm going to be doing an interview with one of my good friends as a special treat. Michelle Abraham's going to do a podcast interview with me on Friday afternoon. So this whole week is going to be really magical and really transformative just by exploring this topic and everything that comes up. All right, so we'll see you tomorrow for more leveling up. All right, bye-bye.